Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today we are kicking off, I think, the week 24 reading vlog. So I had 2 books carry over from last week. I had just under 16 hours left in The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. And I have about 38% left of Veins of Magic by Emma Hamm. So I've been listening to a bit more of The Forgotten Garden today, and it's still going really well. The book is still alternating between the 2 time periods. So we follow Cassandra in 2005, and we follow, the authoress, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name right now, in 19 something. Can you not? So we're getting pieces of Nell's past puzzled together, and it's really interesting. And I didn't read any of Veins of Magic last night, and I haven't picked it up today yet, so I don't have any update for that. Today's been a busy day. Skylar left this morning around 4:40 for a road trip, so he'll be gone for the next week and a half to 2 weeks. I think he'll be back not next Wednesday or Thursday, but the week after that. And he is down in Sacramento at the moment. He is going to LA tomorrow. Ow, you're on my hair. To visit his mom and dad. He was supposed to be spending this whole time with them, but they sold their house and are actually moving to Florida, and it just happened to line up basically exactly with his trip. So he'll get to see them for a couple hours, and then he'll be making his way to Colorado to visit some old family friends and things like that, which is good because he really hasn't had like an away from home vacation in probably 4 years at least, so he really needs this. And he's driving his little sporty car, so it'll be good for him to just be able to cruise and, not have to worry about any passengers to stop more than necessary, and just kind of drive basically. So today I had my violin lesson over Zoom, and my violin teacher and I are going to go back to in-person lessons. So that'll be starting on this next Monday. And then my mom and I went around town. I am on the hunt for some just basic plain white pots to repot the plants I have behind my sink. They're all in mismatching pots, and I just want something a bit more uniform and not so cluttery looking. So I'm looking for just like a very minimalistic white, and I can't find those anywhere. I'm not sure if I want ceramic. I would like ceramic ideally, but ceramic does get heavy and it's a lot more expensive than plastic. So maybe I'll have to end up going with plastic. But we went all around town and nowhere seems to have stock or any just basic plain planters. So still on the hunt for that. And then I had a call with a readmissions lady for my university, just going over the checklist. And we have another call at the beginning of July to kind of go through the checklist again and make sure we're good to go so that I can start August 1st. And other than that, I filmed my TBR video that's going to go up this Thursday for the Camp Bookland Readathon, as well as the Visit Hogsmeade Readathon. Both are happening the week of June 22nd through the 28th. And I'll be able to use books that will count for a prompt for each of the readathons, so that'll be nice. And then I also filmed a video ranking the Harry Potter characters because my friend Eric at Break Even Books did this, and we had quite a few differences, so I commented on his video And he wanted to know what those differences were, but I couldn't recall off the top of my head. You're on my hair again and that hurts. Ugh, lady. Um, she usually does this when she's hungry, but she's already been fed, so she just really wants snuggles now. But anyway, I told Eric I would film the tier ranking and post it as like a bonus video. So that's what I did. That's what's uploading right now. Um, I think for the rest of the evening, I am just going to snuggle the dogs on the couch because they're very, very needy. And I might watch a show, but I might also listen to the appendix part of the Fellowship of the Return of the King and read along with that. So I think that might be what I do. But I'm not sure yet. All I know is I need this dog off of me and I need to get out of some jeans. I finished Veins of Magic last night and I'm giving it a 3-star overall. I think the pacing of this was, could have been a lot better, honestly. I think this would have benefited from another round of edits as well, just because there were a lot of typos. And the sentence flow, for the most part, was okay, but it happened quite often too where I was reading and I would get through like a sentence halfway through it and then have to go back and start over again because where it was leading up to just didn't make sense. So I had to take some of those a little slower and just reread them and stuff. So it would have been nice if this was combed through just one more time to fix all of those little things. And like I said, the pacing was weird. There's a battle that happens in like 2 seconds, and the lead up to the battle takes so long, and then the events after the battle is like, oh, this is how we planned it, everything's perfect now, which I would have liked to see maybe a little less in the lead up to the battle and a little more of just more for the battle and the after the battle and stuff as well. So it'll be interesting to move on to the next book in the series because I think the next 4 are all companion novels to this. So the first 2 follow Sorcerer and Aemon, and then the rest follow characters we've met in these 2 books. So it'll be really interesting to see if our 2 main characters from, I guess, the core part of the series come back in, and just how characters' interactions are with them from their points of views. I think that'll be really neat to see. Other than that, I've been listening to The Forgotten Garden pretty much most of the day today. I have, I want to say, just under 10 hours left now. So that's going really well. We're starting to learn a lot more, and a lot more pieces to the puzzle are falling into place. One thing I really like is that, oh my gosh, why do I blank on her name every time? It's not Livia. It's not Olivia. It's Elvie. It's not Elvie. It's Eliza. That's her name. Eva, you need to lay down. Sorry about that. Someone's a little needy. But Eliza is the authoress, and we get a couple chapters that are just really short in their her fairy tales. So we've had, I think, 2 or 3 now. So I really enjoy that. I think that's a lot of fun to get. And we're still following 3 different points of views. We've got Eliza's, we've got Nell's, and we have Cassandra's. So 3 different women who are all connected in some way. We're starting to figure out kind of in what way, but we haven't really figured out what led up to Eliza dropping Nell at the docks and getting her on board the ship for Australia, and then her not coming along. So it'll be really interesting to see how everything wraps up and connects and falls into place once we get there. So I'm going to start in on my second book in the Make Your Myth Taker Readathon. I'm going to pick up The Golden Sun, or The Gold Sun, by Carrie Ann Noble, which I believe deals with goblins. But it is on my Faerie path. This is the prompt that all on the Sorcerer card have to go through, which is to read a book with gold foiling, or not gold foiling, but just foiling. And I only have this on Kindle and Audible, so I'm not 100% certain if this actually has gold or foil on it, but it looks like it does, and I'm just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that now and snuggle the pups. We've got Aoife right here, and then, oops, we've got Ronan at the foot there, staring down the hall looking for his dad, who is in LA now with his parents. So I think his trip's going really well. Dogs miss him though, and I guess I kind of miss him a little bit. So it'll be nice to have him home in like a week. But we'll just enjoy our time in our extra room in the bed so that all three of us can snuggle up here. But yeah, I'm gonna get going on my reading now. What you doing, silly boy? Waking up from a nap? You look like you're in trouble. But you're not. You've just been sleeping all day. Oh, there's a chair. You guys are a bunch of goobers. Do you want to go outside? Want to go outside? Yeah? Oh, big stretch. Oh, big stretch. What you doing, Fifas? Man, 2 yawns. Well, yesterday kind of sucked. We probably every 6 to 9 months have had to snake our pipes that lead to the septic tank because things get clogged. And yesterday I did a load of laundry and had some nice stuff come up in the bathroom, so I knew that it was time to do that again. And with Skylar being gone, I was like, oh, well, that's lovely. So thankfully, my parents live next door, and my dad is off on Thursdays, so he helped us out majorly. But we decided that instead of just trying to snake the pipes this time, we would actually try and figure out what the problem was. So we dug to find the pipe that leads into the tank, and lo and behold, the pipe where it feeds into the tank had snapped off, and it was settled in the ground a good couple inches below the pipe that it attached to. So my dad did a lot of work today and got a new pipe fitted so that hopefully I won't have to deal with this problem ever again. And the next time that we have to dig for a septic tank is when they come out to pump it next. So that took up pretty much all of last night, and I cleaned the bathrooms, both the bathrooms today. I had to shovel some dirt back into place and fix up the shed where the pipe is. And so now I'm just now sitting down. I cut up some potatoes and I'm baking them so that I can have some little baked potato fries. And that's going to be dinner tonight. And then the dogs and I are basically just going to hang out. I've been listening to The Forgotten Garden for most of the day, and I have just under 2 hours left. I think I'm right around like the hour-and-a-half mark, so I'm definitely going to finish that tonight. I'm basically just going to keep listening until I'm done with it. And then when I crawl into bed, I'm going to read some more of The Gold Sun, which has been going really well. It's a really interesting story. I thought it was goblins, and I think there might be goblins in it, but it's mostly leprechauns that we follow, of the kind of like fairy umbrella, which is very fitting as well for my pathway for the Make Your Myth Taker to become a fairy or create my fairy creature, I guess is more what it's like. So that's really cool, I think, that the past two books have dealt with the fae. Um, and yeah, we're basically just following Tomin, and he is a shoemaker. Well, a shoemaker's apprentice. He lives with his grandma. His mom passed away when he was younger, and his grandma's old, so he's taking care of her. I don't really know how old he is. I want to say he's between like 16 and 18, but I could be wrong. And he works in the shoemaker shop, and this guy called Lorcan Riley comes in and asks them to commission a pair of shoes for him. And he knows something about Tomin that he's been keeping a secret. Tomin's a bit of a magpie. He likes to steal shiny things, and he gets this itching in his palm. It's like an uncontrollable need to do this. And then we find out more things. So we're at the part where things are like, the story has been set up, and now all the kind of dark fairy things are going to be happening. So I think it'll be really good. I'm 20% of the way through, so about 50 to 60 pages in out of 300 and something. So should be able to finish that by the end of the week, which I'm looking forward to, and then I'll move into the next, I guess, prompt for the readathon. I also bought Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell today on Audible, because I am going to be doing a buddy read with my friend Eric at Break-Even Books. We're starting on Monday, I want to say. And it's his first time reading it. I read this last year for the OWLs, no, for the NAWTs, but I wasn't super invested in it. There was a bit of animal cruelty, but I think I can look past it and continue on with the series. But I wanted to listen to the audiobook because there are some names in there that I'm not entirely sure, sorry for the wobble, that I'm pronouncing properly, and I don't want to mispronounce them through the whole series, so I'd like to listen to the audiobook and hear how a narrator pronounces them. That way I know, and it'll be easier to get through. So I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook while he reads, but that puts me in a bit of a predicament if I'm going to finish my current audiobook tonight, and then I won't be starting another audiobook until Monday. That gives me 3 days with no audiobook, and I don't like that. But at the same time, I'm not sure I can finish another audiobook within that time. I guess I'll be okay. I still have the appendices to read through for Lord of the Rings, which is what I was doing last night after dealing with all of my septic issues. I got a good chunk of the way through those. So maybe that'll just be what I do, and I can use the time to catch up on my to-watch list. But I like to be productive with my time as well and actually get books under my belt. So we'll see what I decide. But for right now, I am just going to get back to listening to The Forgotten Garden because I'm really enjoying it. Quick update. I just finished The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton, and I'm giving it a 4-star rating. Those are the types of mysteries that I like. I don't like anything scary, but I really like when someone is trying to piece together the puzzle of an unknown past, and lots of different things happen. So I really enjoyed that book. I really liked the 3 different points of views and time periods, and just learning bits of information and putting it together as we go, and also just getting to learn so much more about the characters' lives and things like that. I thought it was a really good book, and I'm really excited to read more by Kate Morton. I don't know what the next book I will pick up by her will be, because I don't own any others, but if you have any recommendations, please do leave them in the comments below so that I can look some up, because I really like that. I took the dogs for a walk with my mom. We did 2 laps around our road, which I think is a mile, but I don't remember if it's 2 or 4. I think it's 2 though. So that was really nice. The dogs got to say hi to the neighbors, and it was raining earlier today, and then now it's blue sky with a little bit of clouds, and it actually warmed up quite a bit. So I think we're finally starting to get into summer here, which will be really nice. Skylar is in Utah now. He made it to somewhere. Something with an F or an R. I think it's an F. It's an R. It's Richfield. So he could make it to Denver tomorrow, where he's gonna spend time with an old family friend, but I think he would get in pretty late at night, and because the person he's staying with does work, I don't think he wants to put him out or make him feel rushed, like he has to get a room ready or anything. So I think Skylar's gonna go to a little bit outside of Denver and then kind of make his way slowly into Denver on Saturday. So he's really enjoying his journey. He's got a dash cam on the car, and he's been sending me some video clips from that, and it looks really pretty. He got to go like drive under these arches today. They were just really cool looking. So it sounds like he's having a good time. He's ready to be home though still. I think he is gonna aim to be home on Tuesday when he wasn't supposed to be home until Thursday. So I told him he needs to slow down and enjoy his trip. But he's just enjoying the whole driving thing. Also, my colleague who lives in Scotland randomly messaged me today on Messenger saying that he got really excited because he's reading Harry Potter for the first time, and in Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone they mention Dundee, which is where he's from, and he got super excited to see that Dundee was mentioned in the book. I was like, yeah, I obviously never caught it when I was a kid because like Dundee meant nothing to me. But now that I work for a company that's based out of Dundee, when I last reread the books, I listened to them on audiobook, and when I heard that, I perked up and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But yeah, he's really excited. Apparently, he just finished reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and he really enjoyed that book, and he was looking for Silka's or Chilka's, I don't know how to pronounce that, journey. But I think there was a reason maybe the Kindle book was more expensive than a physical book, so I think he ordered the physical book. Or no, yeah, he ordered the physical book, and it's supposed to be with him tomorrow, but he was impatient and wanted to start reading it, but the sampler is like the first page of each chapter or something like that, he was saying. So while he was browsing, he found the first 2 Harry Potter books for free, so he started reading those. So really excited to hear his thoughts on those, because you know, I think he likes the movies, but it's so interesting to hear of someone my age who should have grown up with the books that didn't grow up reading the books. So it'll be really interesting to see what he thinks as an adult. So I'm really looking forward to having those chats with him. But yeah, lots of reading going on here. I am gonna get ready for bed now. Bring the doggies in. They've been lounging in the yard in the sunshine, and probably get to reading a bit more of The Gold Sun, and see how far I can get in that. I'm hoping for another 20%, which would be about 50 pages, but we'll see if I'm able to make it that far or not. Probably not, because I'm usually like a 30-pager a night. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that story progresses as well. So I will hopefully have an update tomorrow. Alright, so it was officially confirmed today that The Gold Sun does not have a foiled cover. At least the paperback does not. I checked my YouTube comments because I don't get notified of every comment that pops up on every video. And I noticed that last night when I got notified of a comment and then saw that there were 3 of them on a video that I hadn't been notified about. So apparently 2 weeks ago, after I had posted my TBR video, somebody commented saying they had the paperback version of the book and theirs didn't have foil on it, which makes me think that the hardback doesn't either. And since I don't know for sure whether it does or not, and I like to follow rules, I decided to switch out that book. So you're supposed to state your TBR for this readathon, and you're not supposed to change books. Excuse you. You're not allowed to deviate from your TBR. The only way you can is if you decide to start on one path and at the third prompt jumped over to its like partner path. So I did state with the caveat that if I found out the Gold Sun didn't have a foiled cover, I would change it out, or I would keep reading it if I didn't find out it didn't. You know what I mean. So I'm gonna still finish the Gold Sun because I'm really enjoying the story. But I started listening to The Last Namsara by Kristen something with a C. And I was a little hesitant. So I picked this book up on Kindle maybe a year or two ago because I knew it had dragons in it, and I was hearing a couple people were really enjoying it. But then finding out that it's about a girl who basically hunts dragons, I was a little put off by that because the only thing that really bothers me in books is animal cruelty, and even if it's mythical beings, it still bothers me. So I didn't know when I would ever pick it up, even though I owned it. But I was looking through the books I owned because, like I've said a million times, my big goal this year is to get down my TBR piles that I own. So I was looking for books with foiled covers, and I was scrolling through my Kindle after pulling all the books I thought might have foiled covers off my shelves, and not really wanting to read any of them. I wanted an audiobook that I could finish this weekend so that I could jump into the third prompt next week. And so I was looking through my Kindle books, and there were a couple that were catching my attention. A lot of them started series, and a lot of them were series that aren't complete yet, so I didn't really want to jump into them yet. So I got to The Last Namsara and looked up YouTube videos with people holding physical copies, and I saw Justine over at I Should Read That had a physical copy, and it looked foiled. Like, I'm 100% positive. I'm 99.9% positive that it is foiled. So I was able to get the audiobook on Scribd, and it's just over 11 hours. So I started listening to that today, and I think it's going well so far. I'm actually enjoying it more than I thought I would. I think I mentioned this in my last vlog, or in a recent video, I think I mentioned it. The setting of this story is in the desert, but there's also mountains, depending on how far east or west you are. And I don't really like desert settings just because I personally don't like being hot. And so I don't like reading about places that are dry and sandy and just uncomfortable feeling, because I like to be brought into a world, and that's not the kind of world I want to be brought into because I don't like being hot. But and this story is set in that kind of a setting, but I'm kind of liking it. I think it'll be good and kind of broaden things just a little bit more for me, since it's not a setting I would typically pick up. So hopefully I'll be able to get that done. You are a pain. Get that done here before Sunday's over. That way I can move into Blanca y Roja on Monday, and then I should be able to get the Gold Sun finished then as well. Other than that, I attempted to drop stuff off at the Goodwill today. but their donation line closed at 3, and so I had to leave and then went to the store to pick up stuff, making loaded baked potato soup tomorrow for my girlfriend and I. We are having a sleepover. I believe she's bringing her sister, so that should be a lot of fun, just a girls' night, eating bad food and watching rom-coms and things like that. So I went to the store to get ingredients for the crock pot. And then doggies and I have just been hanging out. This is the first night that I've actually like sat down to watch something on TV and not just sat down to read. I'm watching One Calls the Heart, which is a Hallmark show. And it's got all the feel-goods in it, and I kind of really just needed it after this week. Skylar update. He is in Breckenridge, Colorado right now, and I think he's really, really enjoying it. He's got a pretty cool hotel, it sounds like, with a beautiful bathroom and shower. He sent me a picture of that, and he's also got like a little kitchenette or something. So he took a walk through town. It reminds me of, and this may not be familiar to anyone if you're not from Washington, but we have this little Bavarian town called Leavenworth in the Cascades. And it just kind of reminds me of that. So Breckenridge is a ski town. I know one of our clients, Vail Resorts, has offices in Breckenridge. And by offices, I really mean like resorts. So I'm familiar with the city, and it's kind of cool to be able to see it vicariously through Skylar. Other than that, I want to show you 2 notebooks I got yesterday, but first, you haven't seen my knitting project I've been working on in a couple weeks. I haven't been working on this at all. I think I have carpal tunnel from working on the computer for so many years and also playing the violin. So knitting really flares that up. So I have to take breaks from it. But I'm gonna try and work on a couple more rows today. Really, it's a mini blanket, excuse me, that I'm making for like Instagram pictures. That's its sole function in life. But I want to show you the notebooks I got. So I got one from work that was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't know it was coming. I'm covering up my work logo and name, but it's this little, I think it's an A5 size. It's in the UK, so I believe that's the sizing it is, but it's this really soft green cover, which is in our branding, and it's got an elastic closure as well as a pen loop. But the really cool thing of this is this notebook is made in Italy, and the paper is made from apples. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see that, but it's kind of a little grainy. It's a nice stock, like it's not too thin. You'll probably be able to see some ghosting, but you've got like light green lines and other things like that. And it's just a lined notebook, but I thought it was really cool that it's made from apples. And then the other thing I got is a bullet journal that I'm going to set up specifically for school from Archer and Olive. This is a notebook I've had my eyes on for quite a while, just this brand. It seems like really good quality, and they have really beautiful cover designs. They're super simple, which I like, but yeah, they're just really pretty. I got the dark green with the kind of leaf thing, and this is a chunker. I got the 192 page dot grid because it should last me for the next 3 terms, which should be as much time as I have left in school, which is a year and a half. Each term is 6 months, but this is made from 160 GSM paper, so these are supposed to be really good, and you can basically write on them with anything. You can watercolor on them, and they won't bleed through. But yeah, it also comes with a nice little closure. I don't really want to break this thing, so I'm going to try and slip it off one-handed. It also has a pen loop, and I was thinking that I would start to kind of map out spreads that I want. I think I'm going to do an hourly format in this. And I'd also like to use like 2 pages as a vision board so that it'll hopefully help motivate me to get done with school this time. But you've got just really pretty paper. And then I think there's 2, yes, there are 2 ribbon bookmarks, and one of them has the ampersand. You're not going to be able to see that. The ampersand Archer and Olive logo on it, which is really cool. So if you'd like to see me do a flip through of my setups for how I'm going to be using this for school, let me know. I can probably fit that in sometime in July because I'm starting school August 1st. Also, if you set up a bullet journal for school, I'd really love to know if you have pictures or like videos. So if you can link those for me in the comments below, that'd be really great. But this update has gone on long enough. I haven't even really told you about the books, so I will save that for tomorrow when I pick up the camera again. I'm going to go back to watching my feel-good show and get some crafting done, so I'll check in with you later. Well, I would say the dogs and I had a very successful week with Dad away. Got lots of snuggles in since there was only one lap to compete for. We read a lot, watched a lot of movies, had some good food, went on a walk, and a whole bunch of other things. I managed to finish, I think I'm going to finish 3 books today. Not today, oh my gosh, this week. I should be finishing The Last Namsara, but I'm not 100% sure. I've got 3 hours left in the audiobook, and it's my goal to finish it. That way I can start in on Blanca y Roja tomorrow. I'm also supposed to start today Spellslinger. We don't have a chapter breakdown yet. Eric had to run to the store, so he hasn't done that just yet. But there will be a chapter breakdown, so I'm sure I'll only have to read like 1 to 3 chapters today. I don't remember how long they were when I read it on Kindle. But that'll be that. And then I probably won't finish the Gold Sun today. I don't remember what percentage I was through the last time I checked in. I think it was only around the 40% mark, but that could be way wrong. So I should only have 2 books to roll over for next week. We'll have Spellslinger by Sebastien de Castell and The Gold Sun by Carrie Ann Noble. And then that'll be the last week before my readathons start. So I'm going to hopefully get a couple more books in next week, but we'll see what actually happens. And then Sky should be home about midweek. So looking forward to having him back with us. I do miss him, but glad he's having a nice time on his trip and getting to see his parents and get to see his old family friend. I'm really glad for him to have this opportunity, and it gave me the chance last night to have a sleepover with 2 of my girlfriends. We watched a whole bunch of like early 2000s movies. We watched Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 1 and 2, Cheetah Girls 2, the Lizzie McGuire movie, and then we watched Frozen 2, which I didn't pay as much attention to as I should have. I was working on my knitting project, and we started it at like 11:30, and I'm an old lady. I can't stay up that late. I went to bed at like 1, and I needed something to keep my hands busy because otherwise I would have fallen asleep. So we watched a lot of movies, and it was a lot of fun. They didn't stay very long this morning, which is fine. I got 2 videos filmed one that's going up on Thursday and one that's not going to be posted until July. But I figured that while I had my hair and my makeup done, I would get that filmed since I could. Yeah, so I think that's about it. It's almost 3 o'clock. I'm just gonna edit some videos now, get this vlog uploaded, and do my Thursday video as well. That way I can have it done, and then probably vacuum the couch because lots of petting happened last night for the doggies, and since they both got baths yesterday morning, or Friday? When did I? Friday. Saturday. Saturday. I gave them baths yesterday morning. So lots of shedding happened, lots of fur all over the place. So I would like to vacuum my couch again before I sit and snuggle down on it with them. But yeah, and then the only other thing I need to do is practice my violin, since I have an actual in-person lesson tomorrow, which is the first time in many months or weeks or whatever. So lots of big things. Oh my goodness, that was such a yawn. I am going to go ahead and end this vlog here because I want to get it up so I can relax, and because I keep yawning and nobody wants to see that. So I really hope you enjoyed this week's vlog. A little different being home alone and stuff. But I would also love to know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are on them. So if you feel so inclined, please do let me know down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye!